Hey Danny, how are you?
Good, how you doing?
I'm pretty good. It's exciting to see you back. It's been a bit since we've seen you. What have you been up to?
Well, it's been too long. I haven't fought in forever, which I've been just pretty much going crazy. If it were up to me, I would fight a zillion times a fucking year. That just hasn't been the case. But I'm here now and I'm ready to rip this guy's fucking head off August 16th.
So what was the deal? Were people turning you down? Were they just not calling you? I mean, I know been a lot of changes with the promotion and everything. What was going on behind the scenes?
Well, just a ton of shit. Ever since I started this career, people have been turning down fights with me. I think they understand that not only do I bring elite level of talent inside the cage, but I'm a lot also to handle leading up to fight week with my trash talk and everything. So a lot of people are pussies out there and they just don't want to sign a contract. But you know what? A lot of things go on behind the scenes. A lot of people don't realize that most of the fighters are fucking pussies and they turn down fights. And that's all I got to say about that. I just felt like a caged animal this entire time. I'm just excited about August 16th. I don't care if I haven't had a fight in 6 months, 7 months, 8 years. I'm just going to take it out August 16th, and that's the end of that.
Are you excited to be fighting under the PFL banner now? Something a little different, or does it really matter where you fight? You just want the fight?
Yeah, I mean, it's a dream come true to fight under the massive promotion of the PFL. This is somewhat of a new organization, so we don't really know its ceiling yet. I think the sky is the limit for this organization. We could take this to the biggest organization in the history of the sport, and it's well on its way. At the end of the day, it's just a fight, no matter what. It doesn't matter what the banner is. But I'd be lying if I didn't say I wasn't a little more excited to be fighting under the PFL just because of the heights that's going to come with it. And I know the eyeballs are going to be big and the spotlight is going to be big. And one thing is that PFL doesn't have bantamweight, and this is a bantamweight fight. So I feel like I'm representing all the bantamweights out there. All the eyes are on me, of course, because I'm the biggest bantamweight that there is. And it just makes it even more exciting. And I love it when the spotlight is on me, and I love being in exciting fights.
Do you kind of see this fight as maybe like the PFL testing out the bantamweights and maybe next year they'll have a bantamweight season? Would that be something you'd be interested in? And is that something you're thinking about going into this fight?
Yeah, absolutely. The bantamweight division, if you just look at it at a standpoint of regardless of promotion or anything like that, it is a very elite. The bantamweight is just very elite. And then when you look at Bellator's bantamweight division, you look at our top 10, and we have to have the best top 10 of any organization. There is just such elite guys. So I would imagine that PFL would have bantamweight eventually. If not, that's okay. We still have Bellator. I'm not a business guy. I don't know what the fuck their plans are there, but it doesn't really matter to me. Either way, I'm gonna get the PFL bantamweight belt or the Bellator bantamweight belt. Doesn't matter to me. If they are testing this out, what better guy to have than Danny Sabatello as your bantamweight testing this out? It's going to be a very high level fight. And I think it's going to be the most exciting fight. Whenever I fight, I feel like the spotlight is a little bit different and I bring a little bit more excitement. If you look in terms of how the crowd is going to react, I think they're going to be the loudest during my fight. And that's to say, with a whole season and a playoff going on, I know there's other studs that are on the card, and that playoff is just absolutely very exciting. But whenever I fight, it's just a little bit different. So I hope they're testing the waters with bantamweight with my fight, but I don't know what their plans are.
What do you think of your opponent? When you got the name, what were your first thoughts?
Yeah, I didn't know who he is, but after doing a lot of research, I do see that he's a big bitch. I think that I'm just better everywhere than him, more skillful everywhere than him. And I'm smarter. I have more conditioning. I'm longer. I'm stronger. I have better wrestling, better jujitsu, better Muay Thai, boxing, kickboxing. The list goes on and on. I don't have an hour to list all the things that I'm better at than him, but it would take about an hour. I just don't think that he's on my level. I don't even think that even if I screw up, he could take advantage of it and finish me. So I'm very excited for this fight. I want to absolutely smash his face in and then be sights on the next fight.
And I know you are sometimes called Bellator's biggest villain. I've seen that written a few times, which is why people love you. Do you agree with that title? Do you think you're the biggest villain?
Yeah, I don't think of myself as a villain or anything like that. I just think of myself as being myself, but I'm not dumb. I do see the social media comments. I do see how much people fucking hate me, and I love it. So I guess I am the biggest villain. And that's, obviously we all see what's going on. We all see that everybody hates me, but I don't really give a fuck. I hate a lot of fucking people too. This goes both ways. A lot of times when people talk trash to fighters, they kind of back down and they try to give their reasoning. If someone talks trash to me, I don't give a fuck. I fucking hate you too. So anybody out there that wants to give a middle finger to me or hate me or get mad at whatever the fuck I say, I don't give a fuck. They can all go fuck themselves. Half the fighters and half the MMA fans are dumb as fuck anyway. So I don't really give a shit. I would say that I am the biggest villain right now, but I couldn't give one fuck.
I'm just curious. I want to give you a couple names. I'm just curious what your thoughts are on these people because I love hearing your opinion about people. Like you said, everybody hates you. That's why they love to hate you. So if that's okay, I'll just list a couple names.
Yep.
Love to know what you think of Aljamain Sterling.
He sucks. He's awful. He actually has one position. He has to get to your back and has to get the body triangle in. And whenever he does that, I would say he actually is pretty average there. But outside of that, he sucks. He's boring and he's excuse ridden. When he lost to that clown Sean O'Malley, all he had was excuses. And at the bottom line, I think he's a pussy. That guy has talked trash about me a lot, and I talk trash about him. It's unfortunately that he's going to 145. I would like to fight him someday in the PFL. I don't know if that's going to happen because he does look fat as fuck. So I don't know if he'll ever go back down to 135, but he's just a big bitch.
And you mentioned the other one, Sean O'Malley. What are your thoughts on Sean O'Malley?
Yeah, he's very one dimensional. He's very brittle too. I know he's just a sniper as a striker, but his body is also very brittle. I don't see how people aren't exploiting that. Whenever he hits somebody hard or gets hit hard, you really see the wear and tear on him. I think if anybody just went up to him and just kicked him as hard as they could, even in their shin bone, his shin would snap in half. I just see a body that's very brittle. And then I also see a guy that sucks on the ground. I know he's fighting a guy in Marab Develish, fucking whatever, however the fuck you say it. But even that guy doesn't really have good grappling. He has good takedowns. He takes a guy down 50 times a fight. But obviously, I see if you're taking a guy down 50 times a fight, that means you can't hold them down or go for submissions or ground and pound. So hopefully he can exploit the grappling area of Sean because I think Sean is just one dimensional and can't grapple.
What about Patchy Mix?
Yeah, Patchy sucks too. He's similar to Aljamain Sterling, where he has to use his long framed body to get the body triangle. And if he doesn't get that, he fucking sucks. You look at his last fight, and I thought he lost it. And he did not look good on the feet. And even on the ground, I thought he looked sloppy. I don't think he's good, but he's the champion of the Bellator Bantamweight division. And that is a belt that I would love to pry off his fucking hands.
What about Umar Nurmagomedov?
Yeah, I don't think he's very good either. I was actually shocked about his fight with Corey Sandhagen. I thought his grappling would be a lot better. I know he's a little bit tricky with his kicks, and I think that's how he disrupted Corey Sandhagen's rhythm. I think he didn't anticipate his kicks being that tricky. But I don't think that Umar's grappling is that good. I was very surprised by it. I don't think like he's like his brother or his cousin, in the sense of being a high level grappler. I guess his grappling is pretty good, but he definitely let me down in the talent wise with his grappling his last fight.
And last question, I'm just curious, where do you see your fight ending? Do you have a prediction? What do you see going on for you?
Yeah, this will be a first round KO. I'm just light years above this guy. I'm going to be setting traps left and right. When you get to a certain level in this game, you start setting traps that kind of the naked eye and people that don't understand MMA can't really understand it. But I will be setting traps all first round, and then I'll get the finish. It'll be perfect because it'll line me right up to get 5 more fights in this year.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye bye.